Well, a wafer-thin surplus has been delivered as Wayne Swan found an extra $33 billion in savings, although only half of that is spending cuts. Spreading the benefits of the boom is the spending centrepiece of the budget, with cash payments for families. And going the government's way, good numbers on growth and inflation, but it remains very much a budget for hard times. Here's Philip Lasker.
It's a budget framed in a world of extreme uncertainty. Europe and the US are mired in debt. At home, job losses have hit industries struggling under the weight of a sluggish economy and strong dollar.
We've been through the wildest ride in the global economy since the Great Depression.
But one thing is immovable: the surplus of $1.5 billion, which is unchanged since November, even though Queensland's natural disasters and Europe's man-made ones have seen this year's budget deficit blow out to $44 billion. There's also been a shifting of $7 billion in spending to this year to help deliver next year's surplus.
There will be truckloads of cash leaving Canberra in the next handful of weeks that will make this year's deficit worse and, in effect, make next year's position rather better.
Like the carbon tax compensation being delivered before the tax kicks in. And the surplus quest is essentially built around one strategy.
It's doing that by controlling the base of spending over time.
The forecasts also show an economy in a sweet spot. Economic growth is around trend, inflation contained, and unemployment peaks at 5.5%. But it's the decade-long rosy terms of trade forecast which had some wincing. They say the government should have relied on a more conservative view of 5 years at the most.
And if it did, the government's revenue position would be in serious jeopardy. And so its surplus is in jeopardy.
The government says this budget gives the Reserve Bank maximum room to cut interest rates, but the analysts aren't quite so sure. After all, an economy in a sweet spot doesn't necessarily need much lower interest rates.